Hi, my name is Marina Friedman. I'm a visual artist and founder of thedrawingsource.com. Today, I'll give you 3 tips for shading light values and for developing light-handedness. Light-handedness, or the ability to draw lightly, is an important skill that you'll use throughout the drawing process. At the beginning of a drawing, we want to use very light lines that are easy to erase and adjust until we're confident in our block-in. Closer to the end of a drawing, light-handedness allows us to shade the subtle light and halftone values of our drawing subject. The ability to draw lightly is an essential skill that can take time to acquire. Everything in drawing is learned through practice. To get you started, here are 3 tips for drawing light values and for developing light-handedness. Tip 1. Anchor your hand. Anchoring your hand simply means leaning it against your drawing board so that it's not floating in the air. This gives you much more stability and control, and it lets you place most of the weight in the anchored part of your hand rather than the pencil point. This helps you regulate the pressure of your marks. I don't make a single mark without anchoring my hand. It is always anchored. Note that anchoring your hand does not mean that you're stuck to a single spot. You can still draw gestural marks and have freedom of movement. Your hand will just stay in contact with the drawing board the entire time, leaning on it lightly for support and stability. To shade our lightest values, we need to barely touch the paper with our pencil point. Anchoring your hand lets you place most of the weight in your hand instead of the pencil point, so that you can make those barely visible marks. Tip 2. Hold your pencil farther back. When shading light values, instead of holding your pencil at the front, try holding it closer to the middle or the back. When you hold it at the front, you place a lot of weight from your hand onto the pencil point, making it much more difficult to shade or draw lightly. When your hand is farther back and anchored, it's much easier to just barely touch the paper with your pencil. Experiment with the position of your hand to find what's most comfortable for you, closer to the middle or the back when shading light values. These first tips will take some practice. You may see some instant improvement upon trying these, but remember that drawing is a skill that's developed over time, with consistent practice. Developing light-handedness is no exception. I have one more tip that you can implement without practice, but before I share it, if you find these tips helpful and you want to continue developing your smooth shading skills, check out my Intro to Smooth Shading in Graphite course, which I will link to below in the description. This last tip is the one you can implement without any practice, and it's likely to make a big difference in your ability to draw and shade lightly. Tip 3 is to switch to a harder pencil grade. Graphite pencils come in a series of grades, or hardnesses, ranging from about 9B, the softest, to 9H, the hardest. Charcoal pencils also come in a range, but I'm going to focus on graphite pencils here. The full range of graphite drawing pencils looks something like this, though the range varies a little bit depending on the brand. These are Staedtler Mars Lumograph graphite pencils, which I've enjoyed using for years. Again, the softest pencil here is the 9B, and the hardest pencil is the 9H. Generally speaking, the softer the pencil, the darker the range of values that it creates. The harder the pencil, the lighter the range of values that it creates. No single pencil can comfortably create a full range of values from white to black, but each pencil can comfortably create a segment of that value range. Each pencil is best suited to a specific range of values. So, if you're drawing a light value and having trouble making your marks light enough, the easiest thing to do is to switch to a harder pencil grade. For example, if you're using a 2B pencil, try switching to an HB pencil. If you're using an HB pencil, try switching to an H or a 2H. In my Intro to Smooth Shading course, you can learn how to intuitively reach for the best pencil suited to your current drawing scenario. It's similar to switching gears in a car. With practice, you can feel and know what pencil to switch to next, depending on what you're working on in your drawing. To summarize, the 3 tips for shading light values are: anchor your hand, hold your pencil farther back, and switch to a harder pencil grade. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you enjoyed and would like to see more videos. And for more drawing tutorials, inspiration, and courses, check out thedrawingsource.com.